Well, hello everyone. It's a wonderful St. Patty's Day, and it's great to be back here with my tarot tribe, all of you. Like I said, it's been a few weeks and I missed all of you, but I had a lot going on. I've been launching tarot courses in person and with an online course to follow. So if you ever wanted to learn to read tarot, keep an eye out for that in the next few weeks. We've already got a bunch of you in here. It looks like a lot of familiar faces and maybe a few people that I don't recognize. So thank you all. Readings are free. You can support us by either giving a donation. The link will be in the chat with from the chat bot, or you can subscribe, like this video, and select the bell icon so you get notifications when we are live and new content is put up every week. So I hope you've all been well. It's been really too long, but it's great to be back. And so as always, we're going to start with just some general group guidance for the group, and then I will get to everyone's individual readings. And just one moment here while we get the reading queue all updated. And as always, my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will be here to handle your questions and get you in the queue. So again, thank you all for being here. Let's see, here we go. There we go, and yep. So let's see here. Just give me one more moment, and we will absolutely get to tidy up our reading queue a little bit. There we go. It's a little more. A little more real estate. There we go. Okay, so let's begin with our group guidance for the week. And again, I hope you've all been well. It has been a while. But let's see what guidance Spirit has for us this week. I think we'll start with the Crow deck. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's a great shuffle. Let's see. Maybe we should ask about the weather. It's been unseasonably warm here in northern Colorado. Today was like 75 degrees. It's supposed to get to almost 90 this week. Just one second here. I'm getting an error with a bit of a technical issue, so just bear with me one moment, folks. I don't know what I'm painting about here. So I don't know if I can change this midstream. Let's see. Nope. Well, we'll just continue on, and hopefully the audio is good. So, okay. Okay, what guidance? I think that's one of our cards. Ooh, 10 of coins, 10 of pentacles. Well, that's always a good one. Let's see. We got the world here. And the Ace of Wands. I'm going to try to bring you in a little closer. Let's see the cards a little better. And just a little bit tighter. I think that's good. That's a lot better. Okay. And just a little. Well, and then the camera's in the shot. Okay. Well, I guess that's how it has to be. But, okay, so this week, Spirit has, wow, well, a lot of prosperity and abundance in store for you this week. So we're seeing a very expansive week for everyone. 10 of coins is about the riches of your community. So this goes just beyond the money in your bank account. It goes just beyond, currency and wealth and your own material possessions. This is very much about the resources available to you from the people around you, the earth, the environment around you as well, the goodwill of the community that you live in. So expect to see a lot of that and utilize those resources. Do not be afraid to, I don't want to say take advantage of, but use the things that are brought to you, even if they're given to you by others. You are meant to have these things to help you and to grow your own prosperity. And with that help, with those resources, you have the power to literally shape your world. And that's what the world card is. It is the reminder that you are one with the universe, with spirit. We are all essentially parts of this big, giant sort of super organism. Even though we experience our lives separate from each other and separate from the rest of the world, we are all actually one. And so when we are in harmony with that, we are then able to use the energy and resources available to us to shape our world the way we see fit, to manifest the things that we desire and need in life. And through all of that, some new opportunities will be coming. These will be opportunities in terms of things like maybe a job or career or other big sort of project or undertaking in your life. Something that you do with real purpose, that is the expression of your divine purpose in the real world. And so a big week of expansion. So really just lean into that, go with the flow, and a lot of great things will come to you this week and going forward into the rest of the month. And I think that's some beautiful advice from Spirit. So and we will now move on to individual readings. I do want to clear the air a little bit. A little bit of Palo Santo here to clear energy and bless this space. If I don't burn myself. Okay. Alrighty, so we have in the queue, we'll be starting with Angelic Soul Witch. Then we have Lily Cherryberry, DM Walker, and Don Doherty Swit. And I think you're all returning members, but if not, again, don't hesitate to, one, you can send a donation to help me out. That's wonderful. But more importantly, you can subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the notification icon so that you don't miss any lives or other content upload. And as I've said before, there will be pre-recorded content that I will be adding to. Be doing a series about how you can use tarot to transform your life beyond just getting readings from me. So that should be really exciting. Panya, we just did the group reading, you might have missed it. Maybe I was a little fast, or maybe your comments a little laggy. But just to recap, the group reading, basically to summarize, is we are looking at a very expansive week. We're looking at a week where your community and the world around you is going to bring you a lot of riches and resources, and you are meant to use those to really put your own voice and work and purpose into the world. So some great opportunities should be coming, and that's the group reading in case you missed it. And now we're moving on to Angelic Soul Witch, and Angelic Soul Witch asks, "Does AM give me the cold shoulder on purpose? How does he judge me or see me?" Okay. So what does AM? Why is AM giving you? So it's not. I'm pretty sure this has been an ongoing thing now. So it seems like AM is continuing to give you the cold shoulder. And also, welcome in, Kate. Welcome in, Kate Graham. We'll add you to the list as well. I hope things are good on the West Coast. Thank you. I had this hat since last year. It's in St. Pat's. So, okay, Angelic Soul Witch. Why is AM still giving you the cold shoulder? What is going on there? This is very interesting. Well, it seems like AM has a lot of mixed feelings about a lot of things. And about sort of relationships in general, and they're also projecting that towards their feelings about you. And it seems like at this point, the sense I get at this point, and it might not be the nicest thing to hear, but it seems like in their mind that they have, in many ways, sort of moved on from entertaining being involved with you. And the real problem is they're not mature enough to articulate this to you in some way, to just be like, "Hey, sorry, I'm involved with someone else, or have something else going on, or I don't want to be involved with you right now." And there's some important messages for you in all of this, because this isn't just about AM. One is that this is really this other person's issues, that it's not anything inherently wrong or bad about you. And that's what the fool here represents. In a sense, this person is sort of being the fool. And I think somewhere down the line in the future, they're going to realize what they passed up in sort of making this decision and giving you the cold shoulder. And I think they're going to end up feeling kind of foolish. But it might be quite some time before that happens. And so there's a sense of not holding your breath for that. And the Three of Wands here is some advice to you that, given what's going on, that it might be time for you, it really is time, I should say, for you to start looking out into the world and thinking about people beyond this person, AM. That you should move on from them at this point. Because clearly they're not the person that you really deserve to have. If they can't articulate their feelings to you and at least do you the courtesy of telling you that they're not really interested in you when you're trying to engage with them, then that's a great deal of immaturity. And that's not something you want to drag into your life in a partner. So the universe is telling you, hey, there are the right person for you is out there. We see the star here in the Three of Wands, and the crow's looking out. Like, what is this guiding light? And it's definitely a sense of moving on. And so I realize it's not the happiest news to hear, but again, it's a very expansive week. And so as you start looking elsewhere, you may very quickly find someone who's really meant for you, and that kind of thing. So I hope that at least gives you some comfort and guidance. And let me know if that makes any sense. So thank you, Angelic Soul Witch. And we'll just update things and move on here. Okay. Let's see. I'm just checking in with the chat. Okay, Panya, you're on the list. All right, Kate, we'll get you on the list as well. You'll be fourth in line. But next up, right now, we have Lily Cherryberry's question. Will I go through more than one marriage in my life? And additionally, some details. And will you end up with kids from your first bad marriage? Now, that part of the question assumes that you will go through more than one marriage. But let's find out. Let's ask Spirit and see what Spirit has to say. Okay, let's see. Let's find out about your marriage. So here's a very interesting answer to your question. I sense that. Spirit's telling me here. I see one marriage in your life. So this is what I see happening. I see you at some point getting engaged or finding somebody that you think you are going to marry and being very close to marrying them. And maybe not at the absolute last minute, like it might not be the day of the wedding, but you really think that this is going to be the person. And then at some point, you break it off as you're getting closer to, and maybe it's not actually getting engaged first, but getting close to that. So there's going to be a sense and a pull of this person that you want to spend your life with them. They want to spend their life with you. But as that progresses and you get closer to that question around marriage, or you might get engaged, and as you go through your engagement, your minds will change. I think you're going to discover some things about this person at that point that were not apparent to you, and it's really going to change how you feel about them. And so there won't be really two marriages for you. The first marriage you won't actually get married, but you'll be close to that, and you'll pull away and you'll separate. And then at some point after that in your future, you will find the right person. And you will find somebody that you're really meant to be with, someone that you deserve. And they deserve you and all the wonderful things that you bring to the world as well. a very solid person to have a very solid relationship with and have a wonderful marriage with. And together you will have kids. You'll have at least one child, maybe more. But it's that sort of that second big relationship in your life that comes a bit later after sort of this near miss. And that will be the person you're really meant to be with. And it'll be a really good and healthy relationship. And once you're in that relationship and you've had at least one child and time has gone into it and you've been together for a long time, you're going to look back and go, wow, I really dodged a bullet. um, I really, I'm glad things turned as awful as that was when it happened. I'm glad it worked out this way because I really am in a happy situation. So when you meet the person that you really are going to marry and be happy with, you will have children together. I do see that. So I hope that's clear. I can't say exactly how many, it could be one child or more. But your children will be with that marriage. You will not have a child with the person from this previous relationship. So I think that's really a really good and encouraging thing for you. Don't try to force it. Just go with the flow and listen to your heart, and you will encounter these people as they come. And just know that you still have all the power in the world over your life. So thank you for that. And you're absolutely right, Lily. You know, the last thing you really want to do is bring a child into the world sort of born out of a toxic or broken relationship. And so many of us, I think, could say that in some way we are a product of that, and a lot of our own struggles in life and traumas come out of that. So that's very perceptive of you, and the fact that you recognize that is something that shows me that you are very aware and gives me a lot of hope for you in your future. So that's a beautiful attitude and place to be. So thanks. Now let me add, let's see. Oh, I didn't get, let me update the queue real quick. We need Panya's. Okay, let me just get everyone updated here. And then after you will be Hearts Frontier, Kate. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we got that up to date. Thank you for all your patience as well, everyone. This has been a couple weeks, maybe almost 3 weeks since I've been live, so knocking the rust off a little bit. We'll do one more with the crow deck here today. It's pretty crazy. I was at my day job. Speaking of the crows, I saw this crazy murder of crows. I was at my day job and I just went outside. It was so nice just to get a little sun on my break. And there is this insane murder of crows flocking around some trees, and they kept like swooping in and back, and they're all crowing. I was like, what is going on? And I couldn't really see over across the street. I wondered maybe there was like a dead animal or something, or maybe a crow died. I know that when one of the the members of the murder or a flock or whatever dies, they react and stuff. They have pretty strong social structures. I don't know. It seemed like a sign though. Not sure exactly what it is, but I'm just feeling very pulled into the crow deck today. So we'll get your question right now, DM Walker. We have your question. Why am I always sick? I do go for a while, then get injured or viruses or cold, flu, etc. Okay. Oh, the Nightbot. Yeah. Okay. So why are you getting sick? What's going on with that? Okay. Here's the Queen of Cups. The Ace of Cups. All the cups. Wow. Wow, there's some strong themes with that. Certainly. Okay, DM. Your repeated illnesses, this coming and going of various illnesses and things is rooted in really some deeper, more emotional stuff. So it isn't just simply like a genetic condition or even just like your diet or other habits, although healthy habits like eating well and exercise and all that stuff certainly will contribute to your physical health and your immune system. That is part of it, but it's not all of it. A lot of illness that we get, everything from like chronic illnesses, like inflammatory diseases, to things like cancer, all manner of things, all manner of physical illnesses, or even just the yearly cold that you get. They are often rooted in emotional things, traumas from your past, typically. There are some feelings and difficult experiences that when they happen, you did not fully process them. And so you're carrying around some sadness or anger or resentment or guilt or shame, some sort of negative emotions. And when we don't confront these things for a long period of time, and I say this from my own experience, we internalize them. Our body they actually have a physical effect on our body. And it can turn into, again, all manner of illnesses. So this is something that might be compromising your immune system. Now, it's probably something from far back in your past, but there's probably some ongoing daily things that are sort of triggering some of it as well. These things can often be related. So you might have some stress in your life due to something happening right now, work, school, something like that, a relationship. But a lot of that stress and a lot of what it's digging up is something from farther back in your life, possibly from your childhood interactions with parents or other adults when you were young. And so that's what you have to start to explore. And it's okay to seek some guidance and help with that. And not necessarily just from me, but from people that you trust and want to work with. But that is a lot of the work that I do with people through tarot readings and coaching and things like that. But it could just be a therapist, could just be a good friend that you really trust to talk to. But there's something there deeper. And as you unpack that and allow yourself to actually get into that and feel that stuff and release it, it will lead you to greater health. It will prevent such a common occurrence of these illnesses and injuries and things that are coming up. And that doesn't mean that you'll never get another cold just because you confront some kind of past trauma, but it will go a long way and you will see a lot less of that in your life. So that's the sort of the course that you need to start going down. That's the road that you need to try and find. So I hope that gives you some direction. And don't hesitate to reach out to me personally if it's something you want to talk more about. Don't necessarily want to air it out right here live on YouTube, but yeah, don't hesitate to reach out and send me an email or DM me on social media if you'd like more guidance in that direction. So I hope that gives you some clues. Okay, where are we time wise? 7:30, not bad. So we're gonna clear the air here real quick, and then we'll clear out the queue a bit, and we'll get on to the next reading. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I think we'll change it up. We will go to my favorite, the shiny deck. Uh, for who's next? Don Doherty Swift. Okay. So some insight on a career matter and will it be resolved soon in your favor? Okay. So you have some kind of issue or conflict going on in your career, at least the way I interpret that question, and you're wondering how it's going to shake out. The shiny cards. Okay, Don Doherty, what is going on with your career and will it be resolved? And we have the Knight of Cups. Wow, we're getting a lot of cups, a lot of aces. Again, a lot of the beginnings of new things, the seed of new things and good things in our lives. Hmm. So whatever this issue is, conflict or whatever's going on in your career right now, and it's probably been going on for a bit already, so it's kind of dragged out. And it is going to drag out a little bit longer before it resolves itself. You're doing the right thing by remaining strong and assertive about what's going on. And you need to keep that up. You need to continue to advocate for yourself in this and speak up for what is right and what you deserve. And that's going to serve you well. And even though it seems like the people making the decisions here in your career or who are in charge or have the most effect on the outcome of this thing, whatever's going on, it might seem like they're not leaning in your favor, but your continued resolute strength and courage in this will eventually win them over. And they will change their minds. They will sort of warm to you and your side of things. They will sort of go your way. And so ultimately, this will get resolved in your favor. Maybe not as quickly as you like. And again, you still have to remain strong through this. But it is heading that way. And ultimately, it will certainly resolve in your favor, and you might get a bit more out of the resolution of this than you even hoped. So it might go beyond just the decision that you want to be made being made, but you might get offered something even greater in all of this. So there's some good fortune to come out of this, some great prosperity. So things are actually looking very good for you. You just have to continue to tough it out and be patient. And it will work out in your favor. So really good news for you and whatever's going on with your job right now. Okay. So we've got some more readings. And again, thanks everyone for coming in tonight. I see a few new faces. Let's see here. I'm just catching up with the chat a bit. Sorry, we're just catching up with the little bit of the chat here I missed. Okay, so okay. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so let's get updated here. Sorry, we lost track of things. Just updating the reading queue, and then we'll get to your reading, Panya. Alrighty. Oh, I keep forgetting to delete the completed one. There we go. Okay, much better. So Panya asked about guidance on grief from losing courage, and I'm glad Candy advised me to kind of look in the chat because there's a little clarification that courage isn't just your courage here, but is either a person or maybe a beloved pet. Just sort of, it's your friend. Okay, so a person. So I'm very sorry for your loss. It's always tough, and I've definitely lost some very close friends in my own life. So we will find some guidance on how to deal with that grief. And as you said, it was a very unexpected thing. So okay, Panya. Well, we have a Knight of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles. So your grief is still very heavy, and understandably so. First and foremost, a lot of honoring that grief is just that. It's just allowing yourself to feel the grief, giving yourself the time and space whenever you can, when it comes on, when you have moments where you just feel very sad about this. Take the time out if you're able to, as much as possible. Give yourself some space to go and be sad. Allow yourself to cry. That alone does so much in grieving. It's just allowing it to be with the grief. As you do more of that, I think you'll get some clearer ideas about more constructive ways to honor your lost friend. And with enough time and enough grieving, I think you'll start to recognize some of the qualities, and you probably already recognize them, but it's going to become clear to you, like, what this person really embodied in the world, what they were put here and then taken from here to show you and the people around them. And so as you come back around to that, I can see you engaging in some activity or project or endeavor that is something that they would really be proud of, something that embodies some of their beliefs and principles and things, and the things about them that you really admired too. So maybe this friend of yours, and this is just hypothetical, was, passionate about animals and rescuing animals, for example. And so maybe you take some time to honor them by putting in some time at a shelter to volunteer, just as an example. But I think you need to do, again, as you grieve more, the sadness will start to clear out a bit. And you'll start to have more clarity about, again, what some of these things, like what are things that really meant to this person, that they really meant in the world, that they wanted to do, their values and principles. And you may find yourself attached to some sort of project or endeavor that embodies that. And that's a beautiful way to honor them. And I would also like to say there's also sort of a secondary message to this, is that, and it's hard to remind yourself of this in the early stages of grief, especially, it takes time. And this might not be the most comfort right now, but over time, you will start to get a better sense of their presence in your life, even though they are no longer alive, because our soul is eternal. And so, even though they are not on this earth anymore, they are still really with you. And over time, you'll start to feel that presence again. But it takes a pattern, it takes some grieving, it takes the release of that sadness for you to get more in touch with that. But you will go through, and as the time goes on, you will start to feel their presence again in an impactful way. And also, again, sort of doing some things to honor what they were all about can help that as well. A master blacksmith. Okay. So, yeah, a master blacksmith. That's really interesting. So, this may look like you at some point pursuing some metalcraft of some kind. And that's not to say that you have to go and become a master blacksmith, but at some point you may have an opportunity to do some casual metalworking, like a simple workshop or something like that. And you might not be hammering steel and making swords or anything like that, but that work, whatever that is, whatever that looks like in your future, that's going to help you reconnect and help you feel that presence in their presence in your life again. And it's really wild to me that you say that, because my nearest and dearest friend, who I lost many years ago, was also a blacksmith, among other things. We actually took some blacksmithing classes together when we were young adults. So that's really a beautiful synchronicity there. And I will tell you that my friend did make his presence known in my life again years after he passed. So it does and will happen for you. But where you're at right now, again, just give yourself as much space and time and grace as you can. Allow yourself to be sad, allow yourself to cry, and do the things you need to do to let that grief flow through you and not just suppress it, because that's what sort of slows down, that just slows everything down. So I hope that finds some comfort for you. And thank you for that reading, that question. Okay, and moving on, we'll get Heart's Frontiers question. And my good friend asks, what is the tarot saying about securing my ancestry visa and settling into a home in Scotland in the summer, hoping for July? And also just general insight, or any insight about the next 3 to 4 months. Well, let's see about your ancestry visa, Kate. What are the odds that we pull like Justice or the Hierophant or the Emperor out of this thing? Being that this is a bit of a sort of legalistic matter, we'll see. Let's see. Will you get your ancestry visa? Go live in the north. We're seeing a lot of the court cards. Death. Interesting. Very interesting. So, looking at these, you might think, well, what does this have to do with sort of a legalistic kind of matter? But I do see some guidance here. So the impression I'm getting here, first and foremost, the death card is telling me that yes, indeed, you will get your ancestry visa. I would interpret death here as being about ancestry, right? The people who lived and died before you in your bloodline. And so that's actually a pretty clear card here. So it's definitely going to happen. And looking at the King of Cups and then the Seven of Wands, I think it will happen like, it might not be July. I get the sense that it's going to get a bit drawn out, maybe longer than you would hope. And so I don't know that you're going to make it by July, but I think maybe more by August. So it'll be like right at the end of the summer. But it is happening. And so this is just, you just have to ride out the ups and downs and the waiting of it. And yeah, that's another great parallel to draw as well, as like it is sort of the death of your Canadian citizenship. But I assume that you would, in a more technical sense, it would be like a dual visa. Like you're not expatting from Canada, I assume. But yeah, I think it's going to be late summer, but you will make it over there in time to enjoy a little bit of the remaining Scottish summer, I think. But it won't probably be July. It'll probably be early to mid-August. And I'm sure the early fall is very nice there as well. It can't be much different than being in New England in August or September. So same latitude and all. But yeah, that's what I see coming out with that. And there's not a lot of specifics in a more broad sense of like the next, 3 to 4 months, but this is going to be a big piece of that, and it's certainly going to dictate. So, well, thank you for your question, Kate. We have a few more folks on. It's almost 8. So let's see. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually take a 10-minute break. We have 4. First, I'm going to add Arwin G's question and get this updated. So we have 3 in the queue right now. I'm going to take a 10-minute break just to stretch a little bit so I don't throw my back out. And when I come back, we'll get to the remaining questions. And if anyone else comes in, you can get added to the queue. Yes, Misty, we will add your question to the queue as well, and you'll be 4th in line after I come back from a brief 10-minute break for a stretch. And you're all welcome to do so as well. And please, again, if you can, link for donations is in the chat. More importantly, though, please subscribe to my channel. like this video, and click the notification icon so that you get updates on all my content and lives. And I'll be back in about 10 minutes. So thank you. Okay, everyone. Thanks for waiting for the break. I hope you all got a nice stretch in, got yourself some cold or warm beverage, depending on your comfort. And we're back to do more readings. We've got 4 folks in the list. And so next up we have, let's see here. Okay. Well, you knew Vocan L do you too. So not sure exactly how to say your screen name, but your question is a very serious one, a very important one. Am I depressed? Or why do I feel so weird lately? Do I need help, or is it just something going on these days? So very, very serious and important question. And I will say, this. We are going to do the reading for them. And if they're not quite back yet, hopefully we'll catch it. But let's get the reading. So you can always catch it on a replay as well. But yeah, is Univoke here? Let's see. Let's give it a minute then. I just want to see if they answer. And if not, I think we'll still just do their reading. Oh, okay. Okay. So we'll un nuevo. Oh. Espanol. That makes more sense to me now. Un nuevo. Oh, okay. Sorry, un nuevo. I just didn't recognize your name's different, so I didn't realize y'all can't hear Candy in the other room, but she's such a great reminder and keeps me on track. So un nuevo, we'll ask Spirit about how you're feeling and your depression. And before we go further with that, I do want to be just unequivocally clear that I am not a mental health professional, and this is not a substitute for professional advice. And I just want you to know, and I want to tell you that if you are feeling depressed, and especially if you're having any thoughts about harming yourself or others, please go and get some immediate help. Either a clinic or even just the local ER if you need to. And if you need help finding somewhere to go, certainly let us know and we'll try to steer you to some resources. But beyond that, we can certainly find you some guidance about how you're feeling. So, what is going on with this apparent depression or weirdness that you're feeling? Un nuevo. Okay. So, why are you feeling so off or possibly depressed or weird? So part of what's going on here is I sense that you're stepping into perhaps a new phase in your life. And there's some stagnation here. And so you're feeling hesitant because sort of making progress, moving forward in some way in your life obviously feels scary. Maybe you're sort of torn, like you're feeling like you could be doing more with yourself, or you could be making some different choices for yourself. And yet, every time you sort of get around to making that new choice or stepping into that new thing, you don't do it, or you feel sort of stuck, like you can't. And this is a common pattern when we go through growth in life, when we mature as human beings, when we go through, and it's more than just obviously just physical growth, or even like a sort of a mental maturing. This is the evolution of your soul here. This is an underlying sort of spiritual growth that you're being sort of pulled into, and it's necessary for you to sort of get to the next stage of your life. Now, you might call that depression, maybe not. A trained therapist or psychologist might call that depression. It's hard to say, but that's where your weirdness, I think, stems from at its core. And so, for one, it is okay, absolutely, to seek some help and guidance in this realm. And finding someone to talk to is a very helpful thing. And beyond just myself, um, talking to friends and family and mentors in your life is helpful, but it might behoove you to find a counselor or therapist, someone who is a professional at this, to talk with. It doesn't have to be anything more extreme than that at this point, unless you're really, again, really struggling or really at some risk of like self harm and that sort of thing. But if that's not the case, there's no shame or harm in talking to someone like a therapist. And also, more importantly, it's time to take some time for self-care and rest and allow this process to happen. Give some real time to this. I know it's hard. We all have busy lives and we're trying to pay our bills and fulfill all our obligations and responsibilities, but there's no shame in taking that time and taking time to be more introspective. And so I do think maybe you need a little bit of help. It may not be anything that drastic, but I think you need somebody to talk to about these things a bit, and they're going to help give you some direction and some idea of what it is that you're sort of clinging on to, whatever it is, that thing, that discomfort that you need to push through. It's a lot easier to face that when you have someone to help you understand it better. And so that's a lot of what's going on with you right now. And that help is gonna move you to that next stage. So I hope that makes some sense and gives you some direction. And again, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me personally. All of my links, email, and ways you can contact me are all in the description of the video or this live and in my channel description. So again, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me privately as well. I'm happy to listen and give you maybe some further guidance, um, even if it's not like a paid tarot reading or anything like that. So I hope that's helpful. So thank you, Un Nuevo, for that question. Let's see. We've got a few more. So we added Robbie and we have Eliza's tarot page. Oh, yep. So we'll add you into the queue. It's about 1, 2, 3, about 5 more. Okay, we'll just make sure we update this. Okay, and next up we have Just Ask Wifey's question. Will my love resolve? That's interesting. And a little bit nebulous, but we can certainly ask, and we can certainly get you some advice and guidance, a sense of what's really going on. Will your love resolve? So that implies an unresolved love. So before we even pull any cards, I'm gonna just sort of speculate here a bit, try to get a little bit more specific sense of what we're trying to find out. I'm guessing your situation is you have feelings of love towards someone, and they have not fully reciprocated to you. Maybe you've expressed them to them, or maybe not. But there is this sense of like you have not received reciprocation from this person. And if I'm completely off, please don't hesitate to respond in the chat. I'll keep an eye. But we're going to kind of work from that, and hopefully we get to something good. So, okay. So just ask wifey, will your love resolve? Oh, there's that Six of Swords again. Okay. Ooh, Nine of Cups. And the Sun. Ooh. Wow. So I do sense a resolution to this love. I do sense that this person will reciprocate your feelings of love back to you. But it's going to take a little bit of effort on your part, I think. And that effort really is about you expressing yourself more honestly. So we have this Six of Swords here. Swords is a lot of things, but it's communication and influence, intellect. And then we see the Sun here on the other side of these three cards. And in the middle is this beautiful sort of contentment, this joy. And so I think in order for this person to reciprocate, it's going to require you to communicate with them and express yourself in a more authentic and honest way than you have up till this point. And that, I sense there's some hesitation and struggle for you with that. And it's understandable. We all have doubts about ourselves, and there are always things, we all have sort of conditioning in our lives where we don't feel like we can fully express our honest, again, most true selves. At some point in our lives when we were younger, someone required us to be, not really be our true selves in order to be acceptable to them. And so that's a lot of that's what's getting in your way right now. And so that's what you have to find is like, do a little soul searching and be like, what am I not truly expressing? And maybe it's just you're not being as, I don't know, like just not expressing your love enough, I mean, maybe not even in terms of frequency, but like being really clear, like I have these really intense feelings for you. It might be something as simple as that. And maybe they are reacting a little bit to you when you're around them, and so you kind of pull back. But you really need to take that moment and sort of take that leap because it's a vulnerable thing to really bare your soul to someone. It's totally understandable. and that can be scary. But if you do, it's going to resonate with them, and I think you're going to find that you are going to get back what it is you're hoping to get from them. So yeah, that Leo energy, definitely the sun is definitely that Leo energy. So that is that bodes well for this for you. So thanks for that. That's a very perceptive bit of tarot reading there. So that's really good, wifey. You're pretty good at this. I don't know if you read tarot or not, but it's something you should get into at some point because I think you'd get a lot out of it. So okay, so that was wifey's question. And we've got about 4 left. Where are we time-wise? About 8:30. I think what we're going to do... Oh, well, Reiki Master Sharon just came in. So, okay. So here's what we're going to do. Reiki Master Sharon, welcome in. You're going to be the last reading of the night. And that'll put you 1, 2, 3, 4th in line. Because that'll take me up to about the 9 o'clock hour. So just when you get a moment, put your question in the chat, or if you just want a general reading, that's cool. We'll put you in. So everyone in the queue, you and the other 3 people ahead of you, you're all going to get your readings. But I don't think we're going to take on any additional newcomers after that, just for the sake of time tonight. So we'll just change over our graphic real quick. But don't worry, anyone who's in the queue, as well as Reiki Master Sharon, we will get your reading. And with that in mind, let's get to Arwen. Arwen G asks, what's coming towards me? So kind of a generalistic question. So thank you for that. Reiki Master Sharon will get you in as well for a general reading. I'll put that in right now so I don't forget. General reading. Okay. I can't type today. Okay. So, yep, you all will be the last 4 for the night. And just like Nightbot just said, as a reminder, you can support all of our hard work either with a donation using the link in the chat, also by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, sharing it out to your friends, and coming back next week as well. So thank you all, everyone. So Arwen, what is coming towards you? Let's see. Oh, apologies. I wanted to switch. We're going to do the Crow deck for these last 4, I think. Okay. One more shuffle. Okay, Arwen. What is headed towards you? Ooh, a lot of great sort of earth energy. Ace of Pentacles and the Chariot. Well, things are coming towards you. Oh, some really good things. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. These are always the easy ones to read, too, and we just have like a lot of nice things. So you're sitting on the beginnings of some new prosperity. You've got the seeds of some new wealth or riches and just joy as well. And again, prosperity is going to enter your life very soon. It might not be actual, just a pile of money shows up on your doorstep or in your bank account, but some really important, again, sort of wealth of some kind, resources, help from others, things like that, and something that isn't just very temporary. It's something that is more permanent and big and is going to build over time. And it will take some time, but it will have a lot of momentum. So the Chariot here is like the momentum of things. And so it will be the beginnings of it. It's something that will have some staying power in your life, and it will really grow and grow somewhat quickly. And the bigger sense of this is these riches, this thing, this abundance is really going to be like an abundance of friendship, and not just friends, but some real people who are gonna help you, really help uplift you in life beyond just someone to talk to or hang out with. People who share some of the same goals and dreams and sort of interests, and people who can help, you can work together with to further these things. And so that's what's entering your life and coming towards you in the next week to really month or so, is the appearance of this and the building of that. So that's quite powerful. And again, just a very expansive month for all of us, an expansive week. Very cool stuff. So just be on the lookout for that. It will come. So thank you for your question, Arwen. And moving on to Misty. I have you still written in as Robbie, but I saw that you logged back in, Misty, under that screen name, so that's fine. I don't totally lose track of the chat always, but once in a while I do. So let's see. What is going on with your energy, Misty? Let's see here, Misty. Ooh, the star. Okay. 10 of Swords. Very interesting. So at first thought, this seems a little bit conflicted, but not really. So what I see here, Misty, is you're in a place where you might, I think you're going to hit a bit of a like a roadblock, or kind of like the 7 of Wands here is very much like the universe sort of saying, "Hey, hold up, you're about to go off this cliff." I think there's been some things going on. We're going to creep in, and you might just be sensing this more energetically than it's like an obvious thing, but you're kind of getting pulled away from your path and from the things that you need to be more focused on. And so the star and the 7 of Wands here is like, okay, the universe is going to put up this roadblock as a way to get you to stop and look, because the universe is trying to, spirit is trying to guide you back to the path you need to be on. And that's what the star is. It's that light out in the darkness by which you can, guide yourself. You can navigate and sail your ship. It gives you something to orient to when everything just seems black and nebulous and dark. So this thing is going to come up. It's going to make you stop and reflect a bit. You're going to have to look for that star and get reoriented. And I suspect that it's a path that you've been on and you've gotten off of it. So you need to get reoriented to that. And what that path is, and what the conclusion of that path is it's the resolution of a conflict. So there's some ongoing or existing conflict or some old conflict in your life that you might think has been put to rest, but it hasn't. And you need to be the one to finally put it to rest. And that's what the 10 of Swords here is. You need to get back to dealing with that thing. And you've probably gotten off the track because dealing with this thing, dealing with conflict isn't comfortable. And it's understandable as human beings. We don't just want to jump into painful and uncomfortable things, but you stand to gain a lot more from dealing with this and putting it to rest. So there's some ongoing or outstanding conflict that has not fully been resolved, and you have to be the one to resolve it. And that's what the universe is leading you towards right now. And so if you're having kind of weird sort of energetic sensations, your energy feels off, that's what this is about. So take some time to reflect and look for that inspiration. Like, what do I need to get back to? What are the things that I need to clear out in my life and get back to that? Okay? I think that's a pretty clear one. So thanks again. Also, thank you, Arwen. Thank you for your thanks and your appreciation. We love that. All of your comments and feedback are always welcome, even if my reading is way off and I'm completely wrong. Please let me know. I always just want to do right by all of you every week. So moving on, we are on to the last two. So we have Elise's tarot page. And Elise was asking about some insights regarding a new living situation that you are seeking. Okay. Ooh. Okay. And then, yeah, after Reiki Master, we are just going to call it for the night. A little earlier than I usually try to go a full 2 hours, but I have a lot going on this week, and I'm a little ragged myself. But being here with all of you always gives me so much energy. All your support is always felt. So thank you all for that. And what is going on with the new living situation that you are seeking, Eliza? Let's see. Living situations are always interesting ones. Interesting questions. Ah, the death card. Okay. And the Ace of Wands. Well, it's rare that I flip the 3 cards over and I get like instant sort of read. It usually takes a second. I have to kind of reflect, but this is pretty clear. So this actually will probably be pretty quick. The new living situation that you're seeking will happen. Here, the death card is the end of the current situation. And so a new situation has to come out of that, right? If the current situation ends, then by default, you're in a new situation. The new situation is going to be a really good one. You're going to be in a situation where the environment and people that you're surrounded by is positive and nurturing and good. I don't know if you're actually taking on roommates or not, if you're moving into a place with other people. Whether it's roommates or if it's not roommates, it's your neighbors, and just the place you're going to be living is really going to be invigorating and refreshing to you and give you some new energy and spark in life. And some other additional opportunities will eventually come out of that, and that's the Ace of Wands. So nothing but good things will come from this situation. It is going to happen for you. And I sense that it will come along pretty quickly. It's not going to be a drawn-out process. The wands, the preponderance of the wands here is sort of the energy of fire. It's very fast-moving. So, Eliza, I see here your comment now. So you're not entirely sure exactly where you're going to, but you have to move. So that can be certainly a bit distressing, when you need to move and you haven't quite figured it out too. But oh yeah, we love the crows. But it will come to you. And I would say probably this situation, the new living situation, again, like it's going to involve people that really like you, who uplift you, who have your, who care about your interests, some good friends or something. So that situation, that opportunity might come through friends, or other people that you get along with and stuff. So um, certainly be looking down those avenues, beyond just looking at apartments for rent online or something like that. Use your network of people, because that Six of Wands is this strong thing of like, there's a bunch of people who want to help you and they want to uplift you. So that's where that will come from. And wherever you end up, again, it's going to lead to some even bigger opportunities beyond just being out of this toxic relationship and living situation. So again, a lot of positive stuff. Try not to get too stressed about it. I know it's not easy, but it's coming. So great things for you, Eliza. And thanks again for your question. And that leaves us with our last reading for the night. That'll be Reiki Master Sharon. And we're doing a general reading for you. And always good to see you in the live tonight. Thanks for showing up. I think you've been here for almost all of them. So appreciate that very much. Let's see here. Okay, general vibes for you, Sharon. Okay, what does Crow Deck have to say for you, Sharon? Two of Wands. We haven't seen that tonight. Ooh, a Knight of Cups. And Nine of Swords. Very interesting. This is very interesting. So here's the reading. Here's what I get. You're either in or entering a situation where you have to be really mindful about how you're balancing things. Not getting too pulled into one extreme or the other. And I sense a lot of that is around things like your career and job, business, the things that you're sort of doing with your life, more than like relationships or other parts of that. And so that's where the balance is really going to become key. So there's a call for you to really be mindful of that right now. And the risk is that you get carried away in one extreme or the other. Also, that balancing act itself, like being more in the middle and maintaining that balance and that equilibrium, might feel like it's not the right thing to do. You're going to have some mixed feelings about that. And you're going to feel really pulled in one direction. And so there's a bit of this sort of tumultuous, like the strong push. That's the Knight of Cups here. In this case, I don't know that it's necessarily a specific person, but it could be. There might be a specific person in your life who is kind of trying to pull you strongly in one direction. And you cannot give into that too much. You have to set some boundaries if it is a specific person. It might just be you and your own internal, friction and conflict. We all have that. But whatever it is, you're being pulled in that extreme. You need to be mindful of that balance. And if not, you're going to get into a space where you're going to create greater conflict. And to some extent, you might really kind of go astray with things. So that's the reading. It's actually pretty simple. It really is just like keep a clear head, stay grounded, stay in balance with everything that you're doing. Don't let people pull you too far in one extreme or the other, because you are actually on the right track. And as you continue to do that, everything's going to really work out pretty well for you. So So another really great piece of advice for the week. Thank you again, Sharon. Thank you, everyone else who's still here and watching. And again, if you haven't, please subscribe. Please like the video. You can send a donation as well. Also, super appreciated. And certainly let your friends and folks, people you know, friends and family, if they like tarot and stuff, let them know about it as well. I'm going to try to be here pretty regularly on Tuesday again. So keep an eye out. And Misty asks real quick, do you normally clear your throat this much? So yes, Misty. So and I'm not sick. Two things. One, I talk a lot and I do work 40 hours a week in a retail job. So I'm talking to people constantly. And two, I live in Colorado at 5,000 feet above sea level. It's very dry here. So yes, I do. My throat does get a little jammed up sometimes. A little. It's not sore, but just dry. Um, but please don't worry. I am perfectly healthy, and I hope that wasn't like annoying to you or anything like that. But thank you all again, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.